everybody, so we're finally back talking some MCU content with the first episode of Loki. We had a few weeks off between the finale of The Falcon and Winter Soldier and now, so it's nice to get back into the swing of things. It is interesting, though, that these Loki episodes are going to air on Wednesdays now as opposed to Fridays with WandaVision and The Falcon and Winter Soldier. So make sure you join me back here on Wednesdays every Wednesday as we talk about each and every episode of Loki. Thanks to Disney, I have seen the first 2 episodes of Loki. We're just talking about episode 1 today, and episode 2 will be for next week. But I really was invested in actually checking out this show just because it seems so fun. Time detectives reminded me a lot of a Marvel version of Doctor Who. And that's basically exactly what you're getting with this very first episode. It's a really fun setup episode. There's a lot of exposition here. We got a lot of stuff to explain in a short time period. Much like with WandaVision, though, I think that this series is really laying some groundwork and opening up some really fascinating ideas that have not really explored yet within the MCU sandbox. And I think it's going to have some lasting repercussions for some films that are coming up in the MCU in the near future. Right off the bat, we get the answer of where did this version of Loki go, the one that disappeared with the Tesseract in Endgame, ends up landing in the desert. After all that speculation we had for all these years, he just lands in the Gobi Desert, and then he's instantly apprehended by the Time Variance Authority. I love that one of them is played by Wunmi Mosaku. I think she's a really underrated actress. She was in Lovecraft Country and also His House on Netflix. He seems to have a big role, especially in these first 2 episodes. This portion of the episode I thought was really fun, getting to know all of the quirky characters that are in the Time Variance Authority, because even in this first episode there's a wide variety of interesting personalities that Loki interacts with. I think Tom Hiddleston really is just phenomenal as Loki. I mean, that's obvious to say. He's charismatic as ever playing the role, and just seeing him have to deal with all these different people he doesn't want to talk to, it's just entertaining. We don't get a ton of her in this episode, but we do get a little bit of Ravonna Renslayer, played by Gugu Mbatha-Raw, because she is the judge for Loki's trial. Of course, it's not a very fair trial for Loki. He is pretty much very much guilty, but he does try and push blame on other people, like he blames the Avengers and many other people along the way for his mischievous stuff that he's done. I don't know about you guys, but I love the mascot that they have for the TVA, Miss Minute, voiced by Tara Strong, by the way. I noticed that when I was watching the credits that it's Tara Strong that voices this southern accented mascot character. Her exposition gives us some really juicy details, not just for the show itself, but for the MCU as a whole, as we learn a lot about the Timekeepers, how they reorganize the multiverse, and the TVA take care of the variants in time so they don't disrupt the multiverse. So I think it's pretty clear that Loki is definitely setting up a lot of multiverse stuff, as we've already teased multiverse stuff in the MCU before, then it ended up being false. We're definitely probably gonna get some multiverse stuff in Spider-Man No Way Home and in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness as well. So it's a great build-up here, because it seems like Loki is a much more important show than we thought when it comes to this multiverse stuff. And I know not everybody's into a multiverse, but I think in the Marvel Cinematic Universe you can do a lot of really creative, amazing things in it just because it's such a vast universe. And you know, in a million years I never expected Owen Wilson to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and really all I have to say is wow, because he's such a great addition to this universe. I think he fits in very well playing Mobius M. Mobius. I mean, thank goodness his character steps in to keep this variant Loki from being reset, but him and Tom Hiddleston have such great chemistry. I think that's one of the big highlights of this series as a whole, as their scenes together are some of my favorites in both episodes, actually, not just episode 1. I like that they go over all of kind of like Loki's greatest hits of his life when it comes to his moments in the Avengers, Thor the Dark World. Even get that scene we see in the trailer where he's actually D.B. Cooper. This section in particular was a little bit more hard-hitting than I thought it was going to be. It was kind of a change of pace, as Loki kind of has to reflect on his past, present, and potential future. It's some heavy-hitting material, seeing Loki feel remorse and sadness for these events that transpire later on in the MCU that he himself hasn't experienced yet, because this is the Avengers version of Loki. This isn't the same Loki that we've experienced all of these films with, you know, Thor Ragnarok, Thor the Dark World, Avengers Infinity War. He's just now experiencing all these things, seeing his mother Frigga die and also Odin pass away as well. So I guess that it's also impressive on Tom Hiddleston's part just to show the complexity of the character, and gives a really great layered performance. I will say episode 1 is very exposition heavy, because they do have to set up a lot of stuff and explain things like the multiverse and the stuff with the timelines and the variants and the Time Variance Authority. But I do think they do get the ball rolling at the end of the episode, because we find out the real reason why Mobius wants to recruit Loki. As you do see earlier on in the episode, Mobius is investigating a crime scene as a fugitive variant is killing Minutemen. The fugitive variant that is going around killing Minutemen that they want Loki to help search for is a different Loki. It's another variant Loki. So that's really cool. Like I said, the multiverse opens up a lot of really crazy ideas. There's a lot of different Lokis in the comics. You have Kid Loki, Lady Loki, but like I said, multiverse is awesome. I think we're going to get a lot more Lokis in this show than just the one that we're hunting down. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this first episode. I think it sets the groundwork for a really interesting concept. Like I said, time detectives. It's like a Marvel Doctor Who, which is something that I'm super interested in as a fan of Doctor Who and Marvel, so how can I not like a show like this with that concept? And now you've heard my thoughts on episode 1 of Loki. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section, whether you liked it, you disliked it. Share your theories on what you think is going to be this... Now you've heard my thoughts on the first episode of Loki. I'd love to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Make sure you leave your thoughts. What do you think of the episode? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Also, if you have any theories, share those down below because that's part of the fun of having this discussion with you guys. Thank you guys, as always, checking out the reviews, though. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like it. And as always, thank you so much for checking out my reviews, though. I really do appreciate it. Make sure to like it, the subscribe button, and keep updated reviews, show reactions, unboxings, and more on the channel. But next time, I'll see you guys later.